Elizabeth, right now we got word that the governor's presser in Texas is starting, so let's go to that.
Birdwell is on a phone. They're out of power in West, and he is monitoring this press conference over the phone. So, Senator Birdwell, thank you for being with us this morning, and for in his district a very tragic, difficult 16 hours for all of us and all of our friends and loved ones and individuals who have friends and loved ones who have watched this unfold from afar. I know they're very anxious for information. I want to start by saying thank you to the emergency management folks here. Nim Kidd's going to speak here in a few minutes, and Steve McCraw, and there's a host of our other state agency heads that are here with us today, and but particularly to the people of the community of West, those local officials, their mayor, the police, and this is citizens that have responded to this tragedy, neighbors who are working to take care of each other right now. Just a great deal of thanks for that spirit. I've been in touch with the emergency officials throughout the night, and this morning talked to the McLennan County Mayor Scott Felton earlier this morning, to Congressman Flores, and President Obama called from Air Force One as he was en route to Boston, and we greatly appreciate his call and his gracious offer of support, of course, and a very quick turnaround of the emergency declaration that will be forthcoming, and his offer of prayers. We greatly appreciate the President for his call. Also spoken to the local officials to make sure they have all the support and assistance that they need from the state. To that end, I am declaring McLennan County a disaster. We'll request an emergency declaration from the President. I also want to commend the hard work put in again by Chief Kidd and his team at the Texas Division of Emergency Management. They quickly responded to this disaster. It is unfortunate for us that we face both natural and man-made disasters all too often in this state, but the bright side of that is that we've got the finest emergency management team in this country. And it is very important to stress that at this point, much of the information that we have is still very preliminary, and more information is coming in all the time. I want to take a few minutes to provide an overview for the state's response. Throughout the night, there were state agencies were on the ground to assist. They will remain there as long as they are requested and needed. Texas Department of Public Safety is securing the area for law enforcement personnel to conduct the business and to maintain public safety. Texas Task Force 1 and 2, as well as the Texas National Guard, are assisting with an active search and rescue operation. Texas Department of Transportation is handling traffic flow for the affected areas, and we have officials from the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality who are monitoring air quality. Pipelines in the area are being monitored closely. The gas distribution system to homes has been disconnected, and it is our understanding that those are being both double and triple checked before any service will go back on to those homes. The Texas Department of State Health Services has been on the ground with ambulance buses, with a mobile hospital and other resources. The Texas Education Agency, because there was a intermediate school within close proximity, is working with the local school district to coordinate any immediate needs in the district. Last night was truly a nightmare scenario for that community. But as I said earlier, we're blessed in this state to have the best emergency management team in the country, and they certainly were at their best last night, along with the citizens. West is a really small community, and just a few thousand people. Anyone who grew up like your dad did, Doc, in a small town like West, they know that this tragedy has most likely hit every family. It's touched practically everyone in that town. So I ask all Texans and Americans to join me and Anita in keeping them in our prayers, and our first responders who are still, in some cases, may be in harm's way as they work their way through the search and rescue operation. So with that said, I'd like for Chief Nim Kidd to give us the most current update, and then the Lieutenant Governor will have a response.
All right, we're going to leave the press conference now. That's Governor Rick Perry. The headlines are that this has obviously been a nightmare scenario for this small community of West. He says it's likely that the tragedy has hit every family there. He does say it's still search and rescue. He did not use the word recovery, and that's key. That means they're still looking for survivors there. They're not looking just to collect the loss of human life, and that's good. The air is being constantly monitored. It's safe as of now, is what the governor says, and that's very good because, again, they're worried about this harsh chemical used in fertilizers. So that's what we know for now. It's still developing. You're looking at a picture from earlier on. At this point, they believe the flames have been significantly squelched. We're going to take a break now, but when we come back, stay with us. We have breaking news in the story about the letters that may have been laced with deadly chemicals and sent to the president and other politicians. Word of an arrest when we come back.
I'm sure the... What was it?
All they could do was watch and then duck for cover. This is that incredible moment yesterday when a major fire turned into almost complete devastation for a small town near Waco, Texas. It's a chemical plant. It makes fertilizer, and it's surrounded by homes and schools. The fire is still, right now, burning. More than 60 homes were either leveled or badly damaged, and emergency crews are still searching for a few first responders who are missing. A few minutes ago, we heard from the governor of Texas, Rick Perry.
To that end, I am declaring McLennan County a disaster. We'll request an emergency declaration from the president. I also want to commend the hard work put in again by Chief Kidd and his team at the Texas Division of Emergency Management. They quickly responded to this disaster. It is unfortunate for us that we face both natural and man-made disasters all too often in this state, but the bright side of that is that we've got the finest emergency management team in this country. And it is very important to stress that at this point, much of the information that we have is still very preliminary. And more information is coming in all the time.
There was just a major explosion. The windows came in on me, the roof came in on me, the ceiling came in. I worked my way out to go get some more help. Of course, we lost all communication because the power went out. The ambulance station is badly damaged. The whole 1,500 block of Still Meadow, which is the closest street to it. My son lives there. Luckily, he was on the second floor when he fell down, or it would have fallen on him. His house, all that whole street is gone.
Dr. George Smith is on the phone with us right now. And Dr. Smith, first of all, how are you doing? You know, we see that picture of you last night. We see your face bloodied. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. I promised EMS people I'd go to the hospital, so about 4 in the morning when we got things calmed down, I hit the Hill Regional Hospital and got everything sutured I needed to get sutured. So I'm all right.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, sir. And what can you tell us about the other casualties? There seems to be so much uncertainty today, as I know they're still going door to door. But how many people do you know at this point lost their lives?
There's somewhere between 5 and 15. We haven't really been able to get in yet because of Hazmat and ATF doing their investigation. I'm waiting for the JP now. I'm going to go with the JP for body recovery, and we'll have a better picture when we can get in. We have not been allowed in yet.
Dr. Smith, it's Jake Tapper here in Boston. We've been told that 3 to 4 firefighters were missing or are unaccounted for. Can you give us any update on that? Is there a more concrete number than 3 or 4?
Really don't know yet. I know for a fact that 2 West EMS volunteers are fatalities because my ambulance on the scene was about 400 feet back and they saw them engulfed in the prison. And there were 2 West EMS, and I've heard rumors to as many as 6 West volunteer firemen.
And, sir, you were involved in helping evacuate a nearby nursing home. Can you tell us about the status of those patients? Are they all right?
Yes, luckily we had absolutely no fatalities at the nursing home. When I saw the fire, I knew we had hazardous chemicals, so I went to the nursing home and immediately had them transfer them away from the fire to the other part of the building. And I think that maybe saved a few lives because the explosion happened right after we got moved away from that side of the building. But all nursing home residents have been accounted for. We were missing 10 earlier, but after we were able to get in, the airborne search and rescue teams found that there were no bodies. So we think the 10 we were missing may have been picked up by family members because it was very hectic.
Dr. Smith, thank you very much. We both appreciate your taking the time. And good luck, sir. We're all hoping for a good outcome for some of these people. We just don't know how they are. I want to get now to the Search and Rescue Command Post, which is where the focus is still on those missing. As Jake and I were talking before the program, you know, they're out there right now searching door to door, trying to find if people are still alive. And Martin Savage is there for us. So, Martin, have they made any progress or have any better sense of how many people are still missing?
No, those numbers that you continue to hear, 5 to 15, that's the number of casualties, but I've also been told, you know what, don't put a lot of stock in that. They really just don't know at this particular point. I asked them, well, what about missing? Do you have any idea of how many people are missing? They say no, they have no idea. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Primarily, in the chaos, in the aftermath of that event last night, they were literally taking the injured and throwing them into the back of police cars and squad cars and sending them off to hospitals. Nobody was writing down names at that point. Lives were on the line. So there are a lot of people who have been dispersed. They may be misplaced, but they are not necessarily missing. And that process is working its way through. So that's why the numbers are very fluid. Talking about the search and rescue, they did it all night long, and they have covered the entire blast area. But that was the kind of quick look to find the obvious. Now they're going in and doing the very difficult, the very methodical. The problem is so many buildings, so heavily damaged, so dangerous for the search and rescue crews to go into that they literally have to shore the buildings up, hold them up, so that the rescuers can go inside and continue to look for survivors. They have not declared this a recovery mission yet. They are saying it is still search and rescue, and hope is still strong that they will find more people alive in the ruins. Aaron?
All right, Marty, thank you. Well, if you're looking to try to help those affected by the Boston bombings or the Texas explosion, please visit CNN's Impact Your World. There are ways there that you can try to help, as we know so many people are trying to do. And, you know, they care, they feel so far away, but there is a lot you can do. One thing a lot of people have been worried about in the West Texas area was the air quality. You know, when the ammonia exploded last night when we were covering it, that people were talking about the fumes and the smell and the fear. So we're going to have the very latest on that and how significant that ammonia in the air could be after this.
The last word that I had was that the chemical in the air aspect of it was not a significant concern. Apparently that's been somewhat contained or under control.